We're going to include, of course, lectures on the fear of God. We will come on down to problem of pain, theodicy, pain, evil, suffering. We will biblically develop answers why people suffer and what is the purpose ultimately in all of the tragedy that happens in life. And if you don't know, I hope you'll not miss these lectures. Don't take your cuts, sleep in or whatever, because I'll do my best to answer any questions you bring up in class. I'm always happy for discussion in this class. And it's very important that we talk about these things and get a thorough understanding. Song of Solomon, we're not going to read in class and discuss verse by verse in Solomon. You will read it. You have to read it completely. Whatever version you want to use, it's up to you. You will have to read. What I'm going to do is talk about love, biblical terms, biblical definition, relationships, and how to lovingly have a relationship with other people. So we will have love and marriage. We will read material that will tell you about biblical courtship. We will talk about dating. We'll talk about who you marry, the role of a wife biblically, the role of the husband. All of the problems that are involved. And so what I hear is lots of people break up about this time in the year, April. Because they've been gaining wisdom and they're now looking at their boyfriend or their girlfriend through biblical lens, through some wisdom rather than romance. And some people decide, that's never my goal. Let me see how many people I can cause to quit dating each other. I'm a romantic guy, believe it or not. I've been happily married. I'm very much for loving relationships. I very much want my wife to like me, want to be around me, and us to be happy and laugh together and do lots of things that are fun. But you know what? You got to work at that, man. Because simultaneous with all that are the things they do that irritate you. And when you're not married, those irritations are not as irritable as after you're married. I don't know what it is about it. But my grandfather used to say, and I've never forgotten it, he'd say it with a big smile. And I don't know if it was his personal testimony or just wisdom from my Grandpa Hecker. Love is blind, son, but marriage is an eye-opener. I never appreciated that. That insulted me, in a way, as if I was going to be stupid. I never said this, but Grandpa, you think I'm going to be dumb to marry somebody that I'm going to regret marrying? I'm not going to do it. I'm going to marry somebody that I know I will be happy. How many of you are going to only marry somebody that you know you're going to love and be happy with? Could you raise your hand? If you get married. Okay. That's the point. That's how we all feel. That's how we all feel. But I found out after I was married, Grandpa was right. What does love is blind mean? It means that you choose not to think about and focus on some things that you will focus on after you're married. You think that, well, they'll change, or I can put up with this, or we'll work, we'll grow together, we'll talk everything over, we'll be best buds. Or I'm only going to marry my best friend, and we're going to always be best friends. That's what everybody believes. I always ask every couple that before I marry them, now, when do you guys plan to get a divorce? They're shocked and horrified that I say that. Never, never. tell me, are they insane? Are they clueless? All these people who get married, who don't plan on ever getting a divorce, and then they get a divorce. Tell me, what state of reality were they in when they knew they would never get a divorce? Or what state of reality are they in when they want to get a divorce? What's the deal? And let me tell you what the deal is. Circumstances change, and people change, and your perception changes. That's scary. That's scary. I'll always love you. Yes, always, till the stars fall from... Those kind of songs are just lovely romantic songs, but they're a joke. The truth is, I always love you as long as you're lovable. Right? Right? That's what the world says. And so we're going to talk biblically about when you choose to get married, you're going to go into it with an understanding that there is no back door, and you're not to get a divorce, and you have to live with this person till death do us part, and you're not supposed to hasten that death by going hiking in the mountains. You might get away with it. And I'll tell you something else. There comes a time, hopefully not too many, but there comes a time in everybody's marriage because of various circumstances where you wish you weren't. Just remember that. Hopefully it won't last long, and hopefully you won't act on it. But everybody, and people who say never, don't live, I don't think they're in touch with their feelings, or they don't have a good memory. I was pastoring with a lady and her husband. He would preach in the mornings, I'd preach at night. I've heard them argue. I called it arguing. She said this. He said, no, that's not right. And so he'd tell her, no, honey, that's not right. And they weren't whispering when they were doing it. Now, they weren't screaming at each other, but their voices were loud enough for me to hear it in the other room. After he died, one of her statements, I can't help but laugh every time I say it, is we never in our entire married life of 50 some odd years had an argument. Oh, yeah. I said to my wife, I want you to testify to that too, honey. When I died, she said, no way. You want me to lie? That lady evidently, her mind didn't remember, or she defined an argument something different than I did, or whatever. You know what I mean? And she loved to say we never had an argument our entire married life. And I think to myself, well, she lives in la-la land, or has a different definition for argument than I have, because I've heard them argue. What am I saying? I'm saying this, students. The more information and data you can have to make your decisions, the more apt you can make a wise decision that you're going to be able to live with and be glad about 20, 30 years down the road. That's what this course is going to be about. On the nature of true love. No, I'm not going to be able to give you a definitive answer on what's going on. I'll give you material on what's going on in that Song of Solomon. You have tests coming along. We're going to do child rearing. Child rearing. Most of you will teach Sunday school class sometime in your life if you never have children, and most of you will be around other people's children, and all of you will have a child around you at times. Are you going to have anything biblical to teach besides let's play with Legos? That's fun. you have children, are you gonna know how to train? Well, you'll be doing a paper on that. And then money, the Bible and money, crucial, how you handle your money, what the Bible says about money and about the poor, and on and on. We have a whole unit on that. And then we conclude with the meaning of life, counsel, and advice. And all this semester I will be giving you biblical counsel and advice. You're going to accept what you want to accept and reject what you want to reject and be the person that you choose to be. And you get to live with it. The problem is other people have to live around you. So I hope you will become as biblical as you can and become as sweet as you can and as kind as you can and learn to be biblically loving and learn to make wise choices. And let me say this to you. Some of you, or maybe probably most of you, want to be as wise as you can, probably all of you. But not all of you are gifted with the same brain power or with the same insight. And that's why in the multitude of counselors there's found wisdom. You need to learn to be as wise as you can in every area you can, but you also need to start accumulating people who are godly and wise and gifted and knowledgeable in areas that not your strength, not your experience. And start understanding that just like you can learn how to shop strategically wise, that not every baseball glove is the same quality as another baseball glove. How do you know which baseball gloves are of the best material and the best sewing and the best this? Well, you have to teach the children how to Google baseball gloves, reviews, consumer reports. There are people who have spent lots of time and money examining baseball gloves and refrigerators and just about everything. And you read reviews, you do research, and you find out what has the best repair record. And you follow me? And you learn to buy on the basis of wisdom, not impulse. Now, you can teach a child how to be a wise shopper. Maybe some of you are very excellent shoppers. And you know how to find terrific quality at very low prices. That's a gift. That's a skill. Guys, marry somebody like that. Or at least encourage them to develop a friendship with someone who has those skills. But I tell you what, in every other area of life, you're going to need wisdom and guidance because we have to make choices. We can postpone as long as we can, but eventually we have to make choices. Will you have life insurance? Will you have health insurance? Will you have car insurance? Which health insurance? Which, Dad, Mom, what did you find? What's that called? That's called asking for experiential input into your decision making, right? The point is, you know to ask about some things, but you don't know to ask about some other things. And that's one of the things I want to help you with, is you need to have a group of counselors that you can ask for input, that they like you and they don't mind, and you can talk with them to at least run by in case they have some thoughts and ideas that you hadn't thought of yet before you make your decisions.